Hey there, gang. No comic book unboxing today, but we are going to break into this box that I got from Toy Wiz. Whoo, doggy. Only it's not doggies, it's a toy. So if you want to see what I got, stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghala. My name is Duke, and this is a Toybox titillation video. Yes, that is the name of the playlist. So I got a package in the mail today from Toy Wiz. So that's exciting. What do you think I got? I mean, I know what I got, but I'm fairly excited to show you what I got. I bought myself a little get well present. As you know, I've been laid up having had surgery on my foot, so can't get around, can't do anything. So I got myself some new mascots for the comic book unboxing videos. And as you can see, I've already cut into this. Oh, one thing. I just thought this was odd. And I don't know if this has happened to any of you who order toys and things online, but it looks like even though I entered my home address onto the online order form, Toy Wiz sent it to the local post office, which then delivered it the last mile to my house, or in my case, the last 3.5 miles. But I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a weird way to do it. I guess there's a money savings to be had there somehow. I didn't know that Toy Wiz is located in Suffern, New York. sounds like an old west ghost town, you know. Like I can just hear the old cowboy movie with the voiceover as the rundown, ragged cowboy rides into town on his flea-bitten horse. You know, I never knowed what suffering was like until I rode into that godforsaken town of Suffering. So, hey, it's their town. They can call it anything they want. So let's break into it. It was, it didn't come from Diamond because it is well packaged with some bubble wrap here. And here we have a Mego action figure, The Flash. Let me adjust the lighting here a little bit. Put a little more light on the Flash here. So that's cool. That's very cool. And the next one is Green Lantern John Stewart. And I like how he's not even listed as John Stewart. He's just Green Lantern. And there he is with his power battery. And then we've got Batman. And Batman comes with a little batarang there, if you can see it. So Batman has a batarang, and this is probably why this package says, 17 plus, which seems strange because I bought Mego action figures when I was a kid in the 70s. And they were intended for kids, and these days they're kind of marketed at collectors. And I'm like, they really should be aimed at kids again, I would think. I would think most young boys, at least boys, maybe girls too, would love these. But there is your little swallowing hazard right there. But Batman came with a batarang, and the Flash came with his power battery. I mean, Green Lantern came with a power battery. But the Flash, which is what I was leading up to, the Flash has got nothing. Not a thing. I guess they couldn't fit a cosmic treadmill in the package. So, all right, let me set the box aside, and we are actually, we are actually going to perform an act of sacrilege for collectors. But, just as with my comic books, I am more concerned about the intrinsic story, reading, entertainment value than the monetary value, which I know frustrates some viewers. Especially, that I buy and sell comic books for a living. I'm more concerned with the stories than the dollars. The action figures, I want to take them out. I mean, I don't sit on the floor and play with them like I did when I was a kid, but still, they're kind of just like a comic book serves no purpose inside a CGC slab. An action figure really is useless if kept inside the package. Now, I'll cut into the package carefully as I can, and maybe hang on to it. If I was rich, I would buy two. I would buy one to keep on the keep mint on card, and one to play with. To use in mascots in my unboxing videos, at least, and other things. But there you go. Oh, price-wise, these they're really not bad. They were like between, I think, $14 and $16.99 each through Toy Whiz, and then the shipping was only like $6 for, like, I don't know, it was like 5 or 6 days shipping. So that was not bad either. And I think a couple of these, the price was a little lower because it was in a damaged card, it said. It was a buck or two lower than it might normally be. But again, I'm going to take it out of the card, so I don't particularly care if it's bent, on one end, as we can see, this is. So anyway, I'm going to shut down here for just a second, get the box out of the way, and then we'll break into these and take a closer look. All right, and I've got the phone set up on the tripod that I use rather than the iPad, so the holder's actually blocking out the screen. I can't actually see if I've got this on the screen or not. This could end up being a hot mess. But I've got this dirty, nasty thing that I broke out of the toolbox. And let's see. Normally I cut in through the plastic, but I wonder, no, I don't really want to cut into the back. So let's see if this is actually sharp enough to cut into the plastic. There we go. Try and do that as carefully as we can, and we'll make it into kind of like a little bit of a door here. There we go. A little hard getting around the corners, and I think the bottom here will offer us some difficulties as well. Did I get that open enough to get that out? Not really. Oh, I'm tearing the fabric of space and time. I might need a knife for the bottom. Oh my God, some of you are like cringing. You're like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? But, oh, he's got a double package here, huh? All right, let's see how you're gonna be. I see how you're gonna be. Oh, I still got a little piece there to deal with. There we go. There we go. All that work to just try and save the card. Let's get his batarang out. Hope the batarang is hermetically sealed in there somehow, or is that just tape? Let's see if I can get that out. It's just a piece of Scotch tape holding it in. So there you go. There's your choking hazard. But we've got our what's the stuff Han Solo was put in? I've forgotten it, but we've got it there. We've got the Han Solo chamber there, and so we've sort of preserved the card to a certain extent. All right, let's look at the figure. Get that nasty thing out of the way. So if you don't know, and now I have discovered when you first get these new Mego figures, you want to test all your joints and just bend them easily. Sometimes they stick. Sometimes they stick. This one seems good. So there you go. 14 points of articulation. The utility belt does come off, which was a cool feature of the original. His head turns. He's got the cloth. So if you don't know, Mego was an action figure line of the 1970s. And it went away. The company got into some financial duress toward the end of the 70s, and it went away. The legend is that the Star Wars figures put it out of business, but as I understand it, the company was having some issues even before then, and it didn't reject the Star Wars license. It wasn't one of those, and that is another one of the legends that it rejected Star Wars and focused on other things. Um, and as Marty Abrams, the owner of the company, tells it, he was busy and didn't have time to get to it, didn't realize it was an option, and it ended up going to somebody else. Again, not so much because he rejected the Star Wars license as, untenable. Who's going to want these figures from this, sci-fi B movie? He just, well, he wasn't prescient enough to jump on it right away, but he did not actually reject it. But the Star Wars line, they always say came along and put it out of business, put Mego out of business. Although again, Mego was kind of in some trouble even before then. the it's it's sewn right here at the end, but it almost looks like a tie, almost like when you tie a towel around your neck to play superhero. I don't know if you've ever done that, but anyway, um, I always hated, and actually refused to buy the Star Wars figures, the GI Joe figures, the He-Man figures, because I thought compared to Mego that they were, oh, and his arm lifts up. That's good. Yeah, well, that's still that one problem. One of the problems I have found out with the new Migos, and I don't remember this from the ones when I was a kid, but it tends to, when you raise the arm over the shoulder or try to extend the arm out, it tends to want to pop out of the socket. Now, apparently, the next wave is going to have, and this one it feels like it is kind of popped out. The next wave is going to have what they call bandless bodies. These bodies are fixed with the arms and legs attached by rubber bands inside. Oh, his body is molded in black. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, and see the body did. Now, I've heard some people say that if you take pliers or something and you bend back that little piece of metal, I don't know if you can see it right there, that will help keep the shoulder from popping out. So they're not quite as flexible as I remember them being as a kid, but still there's a ton more articulation than in the tiny little Star Wars figures, which just kind of, move their arms back and forth like that. These can go all over, and you could get all kinds of poses out of them. And hopefully the new bandless bodies will fix this issue with see, he's popped out again. I think, yeah. So that's been an issue. I do like, though, that, see, it popped out again. I do like, give me 1 second. Get that back out. Pop that back in. See, so that kind of affects playability if you're a kid. If you're just a collector and you just put them on a shelf, that's one thing. And then, again, these are marketed to collectors these days instead of kids. But one thing I do like, to get back to that, back in the old days, back in the 70s, the gloves on Batman and Robin were just these like giant oven mitts that didn't really, fit, and he certainly couldn't hold anything when he had them on. But I like this better, where the hand is molded in black, and that might be why the body is molded in black too. And then the sleeve is just colored here. It's got these bits sewn onto it. The incrustations, is that what they're called? Which is cool. Those are very, very cool. So you just have to use your suspension of disbelief a little bit, but it makes it more playable, and so I like that. Boots still come off, and the belt comes off. I do like that. It's the old-fashioned pouch belt, so that's cool. The 70s one was that, Bronze Age capsule belt, so that's cool. Now, one issue with the new Migos, too, is the heads are a little bit too big for the bodies on the DC heroes. And you can see that a little bit here on Batman. It's not as noticeable on the Flash and the Green Lantern we're going to take a look at in a moment. But it is very noticeable on the Superman. I haven't got the Superman yet, but at least in the photos, he looks like well, he looks like from Rick and Morty, giant incest space baby. Because he's just got this giant head out of proportion to his body. But these are cool. So anyway, to finish my story from earlier, Mego went out of business in the early 70s. We had a house fire in August 1980, and I lost all the Migos I had. I probably had about 20 or 30 at that point. Um, well, maybe not that many. Maybe that's just kid memory. Might have been closer to like 12. Did have a Batman though. There was no Flash and Green Lantern that I remember. But because I was just going into the seventh grade at that point, uh, it had kind of grown out. I didn't get them as toys as presents anymore. After that, uh, I never was able to restock my Migos as a kid because again, they went out of business in the early 70s, and you still had some lingering on store shelves here and there for a while. But by the time we had the house fire, they were gone. The market had completely evolved into those stupid little 3.5-inch Star Wars figures that I hate, instead of these wholly superior Mego figures. And also, again, as I alluded to, I just couldn't get mothers and grandmothers and aunts to buy me toys anymore once I was in junior high. And this being the 80s, you didn't have the internet and eBay and things like that where you could track them down. If you didn't happen to see one at a yard sale, and usually if you saw one at a yard sale, it was all busted up. Um, I just never had any Migos again, even though I just absolutely loved them as a kid. So anyway, there were Mego style figures, through the 90s and the 2000s. Hasbro and Figures Toy Company made some, but actual Mego came back under Marty Abrams, the original company president, came back in 2018, and they have released to date, by my count, about 160 some odd figures, both in the classic 8-inch style and then also in the giant 14-inch style. And so, yeah. And they also have some upcoming deals. They have some G.I. Joe. They've got Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes coming out through Hasbro. That is available for pre-order now. And then starting August 16th, who is it? Tops. Tops is going to release a new Mego every Monday. And that'll be available at tops.com/Mego. And of course, you can find these. These have been in Target stores and Walmart, and you can find them in lots of places like Toy Whiz. So anyway, that's Batman. I'm pretty excited and happy about that. So you'll see Batman in some upcoming videos. Let me now. I'll turn off the camera so you don't have to see me struggle with the package again. But we'll open up Green Lantern next. All right, we managed to break John out of his case. And so there you go. I'm liking John. John, again, the head's a little bit too big, but not too bad. He's got both hands made into fists, which is unfortunate because how is he supposed to hold his battery? You can't. Well, that's dumb. Wow, that's a problem. That's a problem for me. Does this come off? Disconnect that you can thread it through? No, it doesn't. So he's got his hands molded as if he was going to hold up the battery. But that's all one piece, so you can't fit that in there or even loop it through. So I don't know if any Mego collectors are watching this video, but what do you think? To me, that's a problem. Now, one thing I do like is that the logo here, the icon, is screen printed onto the costume, and that's nice. Back in the 70s, that was like a sticker that would invariably come off, and it's the same here with the Batman, because back then it was the one with the yellow oval. But rather than being screen printed onto the costume, it was a sticker that would invariably come off. So I like this John, and his nice. So his arms are more like I remember. You can, well, no, I just popped him too. So you got to be careful. I can remember when I was a kid that it was like a ball joint there, and you could raise the hands out like that. Now you really can't seem to do it without popping pop in the socket there. And it might be because that's not a ball all the way around. You know, it's more shoulder-like, so it prevents it from doing that. But even when you just raise it up, it wants to come out. So not quite as many points of articulation as they used to. Well, same number of points, but they're just not as flexible as they used to be. But again, hopefully the new banded bodies will help that. But I don't really like that both of his hands are in this grippy pose, and that neither hand can actually hold the lantern. So that's kind of weird. Now I guess you could have it in the fist because, you know, you can imagine he's got his ring. Oh, and there is, look at that, there's even a little green dot painted there for where the ring would be. So that's kind of cool. It's too bad they couldn't like just mold a little bump there, you know, and paint it green, but it's just a green spot on the finger. So I guess that's sort of, you know, one reason for the fist. But it would be nice if one of the hands had been open enough that he could actually hold his battery. All right, let's take a look at the Flash. So we've got a little problem with the Barry figure, Barry Allen the Flash, in that this boot seems to be, oh, I see what it is. There's a twist tie here. Okay, I thought it was kind of molded in there, and I don't know why he's tied in there when the other figures weren't. That's weird. All right, I don't know if I can cut that out or not without cutting myself. Actually, I have a pair of scissors here. See, that's why these are 17 and above. You got to be 17 just to open the package. There we go. There we go. We'll get his little carbonite. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Get his carbonite chamber back in the package here. And we'll look at the Flash. So, I like that they've got the little wings molded onto, and they've got the treads as well. See, the other boots, you know, one of the ideas is that, you know, the Megos they were able to keep the price down because they had interchangeable bodies. Pretty much, you just swapped out the heads. And, you know, the boots were generally interchangeable, just different colors. But these have different designs. You can see that Green Lantern is a heel, and he's got a little swirl there. Is the Bat boot the same? Bat boot's the same. So these two boots are the same. They're just different colors. But the Flash has, you know, they could have cheapened out and just done the same boot, but they did it with the tread and the wings on the boots, which is kind of cool. This boot seems a little deformed, like it came off of the mold weird, and his leg looks kind of broken too, frankly. But there you go. I can remember more than one cover where the Flash had his boots off and was just in the red. So here you go. And again, this looks like it might be a sticker. It is. So on the Flash, the logo looks like it is a sticker. And this, no, maybe that's printed. I don't know. So he can raise his hand up, can't raise it out too far, you know, horizontally. At least he can go up, but can't get that you know, action there, which is too bad. But hopefully the new bandless bodies, like I said, will help. I've said that about 3 times now. The other thing, and this is something that fills me with a little bit of trepidation, the new bandless bodies, which are supposed to come with the next wave of action figures, starting with those G.I. Joe figures, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. They also have 24 points of articulation, which seems to me almost overkill. It's like, I don't need the body to bend or flex in any place other than how it would normally. I mean, like, you know how some action figures, they have like this pivot in the middle of the bicep, and that just always struck me as strange. I just need the body to bend where the normal human body bends, and I do wish that this would raise out. The Flash, his head does not seem as disproportionate. And one of the things I always liked about, that they had actual costumes is, one, it seemed more realistic to me, rather, as a kid and now even as an adult, than just, the molded plastic all one thing. But also you could swap out costumes, with for a time with Batman they made a Clark Kent outfit. Not Clark Kent, that would be dumb. Not that never happened in the comic books. Bruce Wayne dressed up as Clark Kent lots of times, but no, an actual Bruce Wayne outfit, and they had a different head, that you could use. So that would be cool. But I have sort of in my fantasy there would be a Legion of Superheroes line, and then with the characters, they would come in their original Silver Age costumes, but they would release these. If you know who Captain Action is, these Captain Action style costume packs, so that you could swap out, redress the characters in their Bronze Age or Copper Age or Reboot or Three-Poot or Bendis Boot costumes. It's a lot of costumes. You make a lot of money with the Legion. So here you go. Anyway, this is what I got, and these you will see as mascots in upcoming unboxing videos. We got John Stewart, Green Lantern, The Flash, and Batman. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed looking at those with me. Do by all means go out and get some Megos of your own. As they say, make mine Mego, but I'm not selfish. You can make yours Mego too. So until the next video, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other. Hey there, gang. No comic book unboxing today, but we are going to break into... Fuck me. Hey there, gang. No comic book boxing today. Fuck me.